The work is called Enemy's Enemy, A Monument to a Monument. For me, it's really an attempt to kind of digest a monument and an image that has been burnt into the psyche of a generation that try to grapple with some of the images that came out of the Vietnam War. There was an image of a monk who self-immolated. It became a very iconic image of the war. The monk is named Thích Quang Đức, and he set himself on fire to protest the South Vietnamese regime that was understood to be controlled by the American government. It's an image that I have been obsessed with since I was a kid, not really understanding what the image was about, but knowing that it was an image that is powerful and disturbing. And it became a definitive image of the Vietnam War. When I was in college, I started making work based on some of the images that came out of the Vietnam War, but I couldn't touch this image. It was an image that was more complex than some of the other images that came out of the Vietnam War. Complex because it was a paradox. It was a paradox in regards to how we see the relationship between religion and politics and protests, and religion in terms of sports and sports in terms of politics. There's all these things that I kept thinking about when I was making this work. I decided to deal with the image after a large monument to this monk was erected by the Vietnamese government a few years ago. I think it was in 2008 or 2009. It's a monument that commemorates the action of this monk. So that's when I started thinking a great deal, putting a lot of time into thinking about what this monument means and what relevance it has historically and what relevance it has in the present moment. I've been very obsessed with these images of power and strength and violence. When I was growing up in the US, it kind of represented not only baseball, but it represented violence. It's a club, it's a weapon that a lot of times I saw used. The baseball bat is actually illegal in some countries because it's the damage that it could cause. So I wanted to kind of deal with that at the same time and conflate two icons so that both icons are rendered different than what they were before. It concretized this historical moment in a photograph, but when it meets wood and the wood takes the form of flames, there's a contradiction and a paradox to that. And so the whole piece is kind of imbued with paradox, and I enjoy that. Someone was telling me today that when she saw the image of the baseball bat in photos, it seemed very violent, but when she saw it in person, it seemed like it was very serene. And even that kind of visual experience of the work is a paradox and it's contradictory, and I think it is successful in that it's always paradoxical.